Now we've finally finished up the drawing procedures necessary to start the drawing setup. So now we can begin drafting our selected object, the rocker arm design. So let's go for it. Get into our AutoCAD that we've set up, and we're going to work with circles. First circle we're going to find, let's clean this up. This isn't part of the drawing as a demonstration. We're going to choose circle and choose circle radius, and we're going to make sure that we have our snaps on. And here we see them on, but let's go ahead and engage the center and maybe a quadrant, and I know we'll need tangent, so that's selected later. Okay, back to our circle. Circle, radius, and we're going to put it on the origin. Okay, we know this to be the origin. Let's get our snap modes on. And now we can snap. If you recall, we did set up our snaps, and now that we have them, we can draw a circle, and that's the origin. And we're going to pull it out and see how it pulls out in increments. It's not a smooth transition. Okay, so let's enter 50. And I talked to you about the dynamic tool. Here is dynamic input. Let me go into settings. Here's one thing that you don't have to do that I want to try to take care of. I changed the color on my cursor, and I went to try and get back. Drafting tooltip appearance. I got crazy one day and put this to yellow, and it shows you can change the color on these things, but sometimes they don't show up so good. So let's go back to the original black, apply and close, 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 and now instead of that yellow that was previously written, I can see it more clearly, which helps me. Okay, keep going. Okay, so we want to do another circle. Circle. Okay, so I think we're going to use that last setting, which was radius. And on your own, select 70, 40 is the absolute coordinates. Okay, so we're gonna place this, and we're gonna place this through commands. 70, 40. Okay, so we have it. Now we just have to tell it how big is it. 25. Okay, so we have two circles, and now we're gonna make a third one, and we can also just hit toolbar, and that takes us back to the last command. So let's plug in our coordinates. We're going to send this in the other direction, negative 50, comma, negative 60. Enter, and there it is, and it's also a 25 decimal radius. There we go. Now we have the basics of what we need to start drafting the object. We're going to work off of these circles. Make sure that our object taps toolbar. Here's one way of getting it, okay? And this is the preferred way for the class. But the other way, a more advanced way, is to go into toolbars, AutoCAD, and let's find the object snaps. And I do already have it. So let me, for your benefit, I'll turn it back on. Tools, AutoCAD, object snaps. And there it is. And it displays the same things that are contained here, only in a linear version and quick access, so it's closer to my cursor than me doing a second step of opening this up, making sure that I have something. But I could also force a snap to function among the many snaps that are used. So let's do that. Okay. So we're going to take a line, and we're going to select snap to tangent, and once you get familiar with these icons, they're great help. So that will allow us to, we're going to do deferred tangent, and once we get it, it's like the Green Lantern comic book hero symbol. So once it finds a tangent, and see the connection was engaged there, but it actually happened up here. Now we can find tangents of circles. Okay, so there's one. Repeat. I'm going to do another tangent. And it'll find, here it came out wrong. Okay, so maybe I wasn't as focused. So let's try another tangent. Repeat. Let's take off this one. Okay, line. And maybe there's a method, a preferred method. I'll come up here. Quadrant. Okay, here's what's happening. Quadrant is fighting with my tangent, and that happens, right? As you move around, all these snaps are vying to be the first one in there. So we have to personally invite and select snap to tangent. There we get the green lantern symbol and not that diamond. And we're going to have to do it again. The diamond is pretty powerful. If we wanted to, we could open this up and look for the quadrant, which is fighting things, which comes out as a diamond. So we're gonna turn off quadrant. It's very powerful. All these have like superhero gravity, so you have to be very select in your use. Okay. Now we're going to create TTR circles, which are tangent radius. And we're going to use the circles to come up with our curve. So let's do that. So we're going to do a circle, and we're going to do a tan radius, which sounds like a nice dance tune. Tan, and it shows us how that works. Okay, so you got to wait there for more than 5 seconds, and it shows you're using this big circle to align yourself with 2 circle surfaces. So let's do that. Okay, first one, and we're going to be using our tangent green lantern symbol. I'm going to select line. I got to come in here and select this. 1, select it again. 2. Okay, that's how we did a line. But we don't want a line. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, here we go. Now, tan radius. Let's select this. One, 2, and then what is the radius? The radius is 50. Okay, that's a perfect drawing there. Because we're going to use this part of the radius to make our space age shape. And let's do another one. We're going to do the same thing. So we hit toolbar to engage the last known command. I recognize the tangent symbol, so I don't have to verify that twice. Now I'm getting hung up because it wants to go to center, so I have to reorient it. There. It doesn't look right, but I'll accept it. Doesn't look right. So let's do this. I'm going to turn off center too, because that was too powerful. And now we'll repick our tan radius, TTR. I'm going to select, and I've stepped back a little, so I'm not so close. And now I consider the radius for that is 40. Perfect. Okay, and I can see that I have these circles. Now we're going to use the trim command to get back and find that absolute shape. Where's our drawing of it? I always refer back to your drawing. And so what we're making here with these radiuses, we're just going to use the curve part and get rid of the rest of the circle. And so now we have our goal. Let's get back to it. Let's get our trim tool. Let's take away all the extra stuff that they're telling us to omit. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. This is fun. Scary fun, because you might hit the wrong thing. Ta-da! Okay, we got our space age shape. Let's escape and accept that. There's a little boo-boo there. I don't, like, you can't fix everything, but let's see if I can get this tangent. And this is just the expert eye knowing that I knew that it has to be very smooth, right? And someday you'll have your expert eye and you'll be able to tell when something's not quite right. Okay, we do a quick save. All that hard work and quick save will help keep it and reinforce it. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, we've trimmed everything. We're going to use the polygon command tools. Okay, here we go. Polygon hides underneath the rectangle, vice versa. Rectangle will hide off the polygon. All right, it just depends on your last use. Now I'm going to use that dynamic center. And it's going to say how many sides. It's asking me a question. 6 sides. Here's the center. And they would like it circumscribed about a circle. So we'll choose that. Okay, and the radius is 30. Now I look to make sure it's oriented. And so when you choose circumcise, you're saying you want that flat base to land on the ground right here, even. We'll accept it. Okay. Next thing we want to do is to snap to center to create we're going to do it, repeat the polygon. And we're going to do this thing called snap to center. It remembers the circle that used to be here, okay? And it can just go off this curve to find out that circle. So I'm going to choose that. It's going to be, for this one, 4, snap to circle, circumscribed, but we want 4 sides. Okay, I messed up. Let me do this real quick because I was trying to read while I was doing this. So we'll do polygon, go back to find that center of the circle. Okay, this is where I should tell it 4. Enter. Okay, and find the center. We're going to choose find center tool. And we're also going to use circumscribed and need the radius. There. Okay, so we have the square. And we check our picture to see what it looks like. Okay, next thing. We have to get the circle from a radius, circle, radius, and we're going to come down to that lower arm. We're going to choose locate me in the center. We're going to choose it. We're going to give it radius of 10. So once you do all your drawing setups, this goes relatively pretty quick. Okay, then there's a section where it does quick calc. I'm not too crazy about you can learn it on your own if you like. It's handy tools. It really just tells you have measuring the tools that you can do along the way. And also you can create the quick calc. I'll show you where it's located. Quick calc off of right click and then quick calc. Brings up a handy calculator that you could use for all kinds of things, but now it's interfering with what I'm doing, so let's turn it off. Okay, I've turned off the quick calc, but you can go through those measuring tutorials. Otherwise, you're pretty much done. So what we'll do is go ahead and save file, and I'll do a save as, and I'll call it the rocker arm. Let's give it the number. What was it? 5.3 rocker arm. And then I always like you to put your initials so I know it's you. And then that will save it to our file. And because we put the number first, we'll be able to find it later. So that concludes the